Yo, in good old myself fashion, I guess. Haven't kept up with any other projects here. And just looking right now, I saw that the last time I uploaded anything to YouTube was since I was cutting that 67 short bed pickup. Well, I made it into a short bed, that Chevy, the white one. So, just so I can keep you updated, here we go. And this is the Rat 1947. It's actually a 48, but anyway, so here we go. I think last time that I showed this, I hadn't made any of the floor, and it's all fucking, excuse my French, full of dirt. But we've had a lot of sandstorms here lately, and I need to vacuum it and stuff. Right now, I'm actually in the process of wiring and plumbing all the gauges and like the ignition switch, because this baby is about to go. Actually, all the floor's done. I need to make a little door cover for the brake, and maybe a rubber boot there so dirt don't come in through the slot. But it actually needs that much slot for it to function, because the master cylinder and everything is down there. I had to make the sides of this bed, and I made this little lip on it so it can look kind of sick. And I made this top part because this was actually the wheel tub of a Jeep that somebody had cut, the person I got this truck from. And this wheel well was there, it was missing, and it was really short. So I actually wanted to make the sides to meet with the cab. And so I made this panels on both sides, and I still made to make a panel there because the bed was too short. And the thing is that I had already shortened the wheelbase of the truck by a lot. So much so that if you notice, the leaf springs are inboard. They're actually right here in these boxes for like better weight distribution or whatever. So yeah, it had already, I couldn't make it any shorter because then the leaf springs would be up there because they're so huge, because it's the rear suspension from the RV, and well, I'm using what I have. So, and I don't mind because this is gonna just be a panel here, and I want to put the gas filler there, but it might be back here, I don't know. I need to make a false floor, and it's probably gonna be made out of wood that comes all the way to here and covers all this shit. And I need to box in this parts where I had to notch the frame to be able to make it sit flush or whatever. And I'm already running here. It's gonna be the battery tray is gonna be back here somewhere, and this is the power cable, which ended up being really long because I harvested from the donor RV also, but I'm gonna end up having to trim that. Let me see. I ran the ground and starter wire yesterday. About to finish. I need to make a panel here to cover all that. How I made this panel over here for the steering box thing goes. I have the rear tires already inside. I'll show you real quick. And the ears here, I made them out of the radiator support from a 50s Chevy truck. And this is kind of just how I had it so I can pull it. Or why did I have this? Oh, I had these white wires because I was using it for something else. I don't know, I forgot why it's like that. But I think I need to fucking, excuse my French again, really fix that. Man, I really spaced out on why I put those white ones there. I think, oh yeah, it was the day that I think the light went out, and I used the battery and that fan to keep cool in my room, maybe. Shut up, well, you got stuck. She's been really, she has to drag this chain around because she's in training because she'll leave. Hey, don't go anywhere. Anyway, so basically just the wiring and I'm gonna put a carburetor on it and run it like that. But I really am in the hunt for a cheap or affordable 460 Ford high-rise intake manifold with maybe 2 carburetors. It's because everything for the Ford 460 for this, the 385 series motors, it's pretty pricey compared to like a Chevy 350 stuff or whatever, you know. But I love these engines, and it came with the donor RV, you know, and I bought the RV for $400, turned it into a storage unit, which I still need to like make siding for it, and then pretty much box in that fucking cab, excuse my French, to, man, I wonder if that offends French people. I'm sorry. I do certainly apologize. I mean, it's just a saying. But I do. Anyway. So, fuck. Loophole. So, yeah, I need a high-rise intake manifold because otherwise it won't look how I want it to. But, you know, I'm still waiting to find the good one. And also headers. I've seen the Ford 460 tractor pull headers that just go straight up and they're chrome. And they're probably about the coolest ones I found that will probably work with this setup, because if you see the steering box, it's a 1957 Dodge steering box. It has a good ratio, but the way I ended up making it was like that, so it's pretty, you know, they're probably going to end up having to come up. Or I might just get those make-yourself lake pipes, but I wanted them chrome, so we'll see. It all, like, you know, we're pretty much like swap meet building this thing, so whatever comes up and it's cheap and we can, like, you know, trade or whatever. But she's looking pretty sexy, I think. Super stretched. And like I said, those 460s, the way you fix them, they come from with the DuraSpark, I think. And it's that box with the, excuse me for, I'm trying really hard not to curse, actually. There's people out here coming. They shoot the neighbors all the time. I don't know. It's getting pretty wild. Not gonna lie. So this 460, I don't know, I segue into that, but this 460, when it comes in those Fords from the 80s, it's probably a good thing for it, because people just park them because they have a lot of spark problems, because this is the DuraSpark with that box. And in the Galaxy, I actually rewired the DuraSpark and ran it for like 3 years, and eventually I just like said, you know, I'm just gonna go the Chevy way with this, because I found out that they sell these HEI style distributors, one wire distributors, and basically that distributor will fix all your problems. And it's like you turn it into a Chevrolet hybrid, you know. But it's, like I said, that's actually good, because you find a lot of these good 460s and like the 385 series engines still good, like in RVs and trucks, because throughout its life they had a lot of fuel delivery and spark issues, so they don't actually wear down the engine itself. They like wear down the components and just park it. Ends up being good for it, you know. Anyway, updates here. This good old beast here has a 327. It's a 19, I forget, man, I think it's a 71 or 2. No. Yeah, so anyway, I bought this. I had to go get my dog because, like I said, she's in training. She just go everywhere because there's little miniature pinchers. They just, you know, they're like that. They're good old dogs. So this I bought from a farmer guy, and this thing would carry like a bulldozer or something, and it had this big boom that would sit here where you would put the shovel or whatever, or the bulldozer. Not too exact. I cut that shit off, and I took those ramps off of it, because I'm gonna get aluminum ramps that just because this is pretty much a ramp truck. That's what I'm gonna use it for, to transport vehicles. I'll show you the inside right now. It's super clean. However, I'm having clearance issues, obviously, here, because it was made for a big old tractor, so it had giant tires. I didn't care. But I need to replate it where it's flat. It's going to be a little bit pricey, but I'm still looking around to find cheap steel to be able to do it. But I'm almost there. And I already got a 12,000 pound winch that needed rewiring. If you look at my Instagram, if you look at my Instagram, you could see how I rewire that thing. It's usually I update to Facebook and Instagram because it's easier, and YouTube takes a while, so I do certainly apologize for that. Anyway, look, check this out. Man, it's hard to... Hold on, let me... Check this out. This baby is clean. Obviously, it's all dusty. Like I said, we had sandstorms like this last couple of days, so everything just gets really filled with dirt out here. Especially because I was driving it around. I mean, this baby runs or whatever. I have to put the battery in it. But, yeah, I'll make a video about it in the specific later. But, yeah, it has a 4-speed with a dual gear, which is a gear splitter. So it's a 8-speed in reality. I forgot how you call that. But, yeah, somebody will correct me, maybe not. Nobody even watching this, right? But anyway, look at this paint, it's all shiny and stuff. It's beautiful. Like once you clean it up, like I have some videos of it cleaned up on my Instagram. Woo. And honestly, like I'm looking for a hood because this one's a little crapped out, and I'm gonna paint it the original blue. But man, she's all there, and it runs like a top. It has a 327. She runs good. Anyway, too much hassle to be able to open it and everything with one hand, so I'll move on to this. And I wanted to show you this. These are the rear wheels and tires for that rat, you know, the one we just saw for the hot rod. Yeah, it's controversial to call it a rat rod, and it's not even going to be ratty, you know, but whatever. It's a hot rod, modified stretch chassis, rat fink style, you know, monster mobile, I guess. Hot rod. It could have happened sometime in the 50s or whatever. I don't know. I don't think they had 460 Ford FE engines, to be honest. But, whatever. Well, now the FE is the one before. It's 385 series engines. Excuse me. I'm like, what? Anyway, this is the winch that I acquired for that ramp truck. And this guy let me have it cheap, like $100. But the problem was, or mainly was, that this box was broken. And I rewired it all to work with the original remote, which should be somewhere out here. I'm gonna like go on a trip right now looking for it. But yeah, the remote's out here somewhere. Oh, it's in here. Good. I'm a hoarder for a bunch of shit. Look, I have valve covers, trim, lights, carburetors. That's a Toronado dashboard. Whole bunch of wheels, ignition boxes. I'm telling you, this sandstorm messed up my roof, but I just got some sheet metal. I'm gonna re-roof this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, everything's expensive out. But yeah, like anyway, the remote, it's like 20 feet. It works like a champ, and then that plate it came with it, it fits right by the frame. Just gotta make some mounts, weld some stuff on it. But before I put it on, I wanted to get rained on, so I have it here because I gotta make the rest of the bed, you know, and like make it real functional. Still looking for some steel. Man, I like to watch a lot of Carson Cameras and like all those little channels where they make, or big channels, excuse me, or all those channels where they make shit with Predator 212s and they swap engines and stuff. If you see my videos, my previous ones, I made a super sick trike with a Predator 212 that they stole from my property. And right now, well, we got these going. This is Baja Warrior, I think, or something like that. It's pretty old school. I just need to put the headlight on it, but it's not gonna work since the Predator 212 doesn't produce electricity or whatever. So that would be like a big sock in the pants. I'm still not sure if my nephew wants to. Because my nephew's 7 and we got this for him. And it's way bigger than I thought, I guess. But it's good. My dad and me have been riding them around. So yeah, I put the Predator 212, changed the chain. I had to make this out of the... This is where mineral spirits come when you paint. and I cut it up and I bolted it to where the original chain guard was, so we don't get hurt. I mean, it's all squared up and stuff, but I mean, you know, whatever. And then I made this muffler for it, cause my nephew doesn't like how it sounded before, and it was burning the fender there, you can see. And honestly, once we put it on, it gained like torque or whatever. It just feels way freer. Like before, it just felt like the engine was like really forced, and just now it just flows pretty nice and it revs up nicely. Anyway, if you know anything about Predator 212s, this is a Hemi one, and before I had only gotten one Hemi, and I never been gone out of my way to look in the boxes or whatever, or like know the number, or like even look for it. I just get what I get. But this one's my nephew's, and it ended up being a Hemi. And you find out which one is a Hemi by seeing that this is a cast valve cover, and it's just way better built. And because it's a hemispherical, it has bigger valves, I think. And then the other one right here doesn't. You see this? It's a stamped metal. The thing is that I guess the makers of Predator 212 just make different versions of it. Like this one's a 69730, and this one is the 60363, and this one's a Hemi, and this one's actually has more I guess better flow for the head or whatever, and it's like a little gimmick thing or whatever for the like a Predator 212 geeks out there, I guess. But you know, my nephew got lucky, he got the Hemi version. This one's my niece's, and they're giving it to her also so they can ride. And then my dad found this bike for cheap. I mean, I'm talking like $40, but it didn't have a lot of stuff, and we just put it together here with stuff from the junk yard here, I guess, from my house. Starting by, okay, these shocks are from a modern Triumph, from a full-size bike, from like a 1200 Triumph or whatever. I don't know the model, I just know it came from a Triumph, but it was a big bike, so it actually gave it lift, like a pretty good amount of lift, because those were shot. And then the original ones are over here. I cut them up, and then I took the fork apart, because the fork seals, they're there, and I refilled it, but they leak, and they're not all that good. So I put them here so it can give it that look for a Springer rat, you know. So I put the springers here, and then put the fork back together, and it trapped it. Then this light, my friend had given it to me. I think it was from an old Harley, but it's an old bike. Like, it says motorcycle on it, and it has General Electric. Okay, so moving on, it already was bent, that's why I did it, but this frame was bent, where someone had already tried to put an engine in it, so I just went full fucking sand, and I made a plate down here. You can't really see it that much right now. You see it? I made this plate that went down there so you can, I welded it together so you can, well, actually, Ray Charles helped me with his feet, or whatever the hell Finnegan says, if anyone wants to talk shit about my welly. Anyway, so I put it together, and it runs like, I went to go look at the specs for the original 1979 Honda XL75, that's what this is, and it ran 51 miles per hour, original with the 3-speed, with a 75cc. Right now with a 212cc, it runs around the same. I think we're limited by gearing. It runs like 52 miles an hour. I put it with a little app on my phone, and well, it's pretty much an automatic. It runs good. I fixed a throttle cable here. If you can see, it has an MSD thing that I had to zip ties to fix it, but she works. Actually, I gotta fix this because this has been falling off. So I gotta remake that bar and make it bend out so it doesn't fall out. Sometimes it does that. Otherwise it works good. It needs a better return spring. I was gonna fuck with that today, actually. So yeah, this is pretty much more like a little ratty Honda. It runs like 50. The power only goes like 32, but like I said, that's geared limited. This one's more of a badass because it has the torque converter. That's pretty much what's been going on. Actually, I have videos on my 52 a long time ago, and it's pretty much running. We put an engine from a Oldsmobile that I bought from some guy offline for like $250, and we got it going and everything. But right now, I know the engine's all full of sand because of the sandstorm that happened. Look, almost even covered the whole front of the car. Look at this. Look at that. We had painted out what we did. It's still there. We just gotta clean it. We painted everything black. We redid. If you see my Instagram, we redid all the floor. Like cleaned it up, painted it, rhino lined it, and then we got the seat out of like an 80s Astro van, and I made this badass brackets, and it works real good. It bends, like it folds up and everything for the back, and then we put the engine. But like, I don't know if you can see this, but the bumper's almost all the way up to the sand. And that was not there. Like, that was how much sand came. Like, okay, we're fixing this car to sell it. And we fixed the crash that was in the door. But now we gotta refix the trunk because a big piece of metal flew from somewhere and destroyed the trunk. If you can see it, hit it there and like scratched it right there. And it's just like, it's just a big headache on that one. So, damn. When my trim's falling off, I don't know that. This trim was falling off, but let's see. You see? Like now at this point, and I know it looks pretty bad. The butterflies on the engine are closed. So before I move anything, I gotta vacuum it really carefully. That's how much fucking sand went in here. From it just blowing under and like siphoning all the dust from like 100-mile-an-hour winds for like 12 hours straight or something. I don't know, it was crazy, to be honest. It was pretty insane. So now I gotta vacuum it all, but it runs real good. I also put one of those HI Chevy Distributor modern ones on this engine, and a carburetor, and pretty much intake manifold gasket, and it was running good. Fuel pump, just changed the cuss because I had it, and then a badass carburetor, radiator. And this thing runs good. I mean, it's running and driving. Pretty much. It's done in my book. I don't really want to paint it or anything, to be honest. Like, pretty much just insure it and whatever, but my sister was gonna take over, and she wanted to paint it flat black and like get rims and all that. And I told her, go ahead. Because in my opinion, that's what kills projects. Like, just go ahead and drive it like that. I don't know, but I'm kind of over life with cars and stuff. Like, I don't really care about it. I'm not gonna sell it because it's like sentimental to the family. So whoever wants to like head on and take, because life's short. We're only really here for a while. And to be honest, like, I'd rather just spend time and money on my Harley. And while the rat, I'm building it for business. It's gonna be for sale. So I told my sister, yeah, go ahead and take over the bomb. Go ahead and take over it and see it succeed. It's driving. It's on a 1985 G body frame. It has a V8. It runs and drives like a modern vehicle. I mean, it's a little rusted here and there because it's just ratty, but look at the floor. The floor's from Monte Carlo. It's all redone. It's molded in there. Lance McIntosh, some crazy, really good builder, gave me that idea and helped me with this. When I was working in the oil field, I paid him like 3 G's almost. When I took off, and I used to work for his dad, and I was doing this at his dad's house, and he would help me, and I actually bought because I was like, 18 or 17, and I was buying a Mercedes from him, the Mercedes that I have back there in the back of the property that's also messed up right now. I was buying that from him, and then, to be honest, he taught me how to mess with airbags and like a lot of things that I learned from that dude, so he was pretty cool. And then he didn't really get to finish entirely like welding it and everything because like I came back from the oil field and things were happening. I mean, like a long time happens with these projects, So I paid him whatever, you know, for whatever he had done, and then I brought it here, finished the floor up, welded the rest of the little plates, and then just painted it and sealed it, and it's been 10 years in the making. If you look up 1952 rat rod build, you see this in YouTube, where me and my dad like hung it on that tree and like slit the frame in. So I can say that's pretty successful as running and driving today. I mean, like you saw the fucking sand or whatever, I make a video of it. You can go check it out on my Instagram. It's running there, I guess. It's just so much shit. Like, it's like a big dam, and then you like get one running, and then another hole pops out of it. Like, I gotta change the transmission on this blue car because the reverse broke on it. So I'm just thinking of selling the original 383 and 727 combo, and then just sticking like a modern, like third gen Hemi from a running truck, and then just do like standalone because it's probably be easier. I don't know, but I'm over it. Like, I really don't even want to do it, to be honest. And I think I'm gonna sell my Pontiac to my brother. I had been talking about how I really don't care about it anymore that much. It just brings me shitty memories from like me being crazy. I don't know. It's running and driving. Has air ride suspension. That sounds funny. It has air ride suspension. A 420. What is it? 421 Pontiac original engine. Runs and drives. Always has ran and drive smooth. 400 turbo trans. It's just a beast, you know. It's just a highway fucking sedan, you know, like slammed, shaved door handles. Like, rear wheels are like 17s by 10 or something, or 12, and the front are 14s by 8. So it's like big and littles, but with spokes. It's just that, you know. It's a pitmobile. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. My Harley's there. Actually did a bob job on it. You can see.